And Mark, you are good to go. Please, everybody, mute your phone, mute your Zoom computers. Mark, I'm now turning it over to you.
All right, thank you, Craig. On behalf of the Foundation Board, I would like to thank everybody for taking time out of their busy schedules this evening to join us. This is the first of really 3 calls that we're going to have to get all of you ready for the 2021-2022 Optimist year. There will be a call mid-September, September 14th, where Shanita Taylor from the Foundation will be joining us to go over all of the reporting requirements. And so we're not going to get into any of those this evening. And then a couple weeks before that, each one of the board members is assigned to a region as their liaison, and they will be setting up a call in a smaller group to be able to answer any questions that you might have, and also really so everybody can get to know everybody that's in their region on those teams. Our slogan for the 2021-2022 year is going to be making a difference. Yes, we can. And really just trying to emphasize to the clubs and the members all of the great things that the dollars from the foundation really give back to the communities and really give back to all of the programs of Optimist International. Now, Optimist International Foundation has their mission statement, and we're really there to manage the funds that we do receive from all of our donors and really make sure that those funds are then expended in the most appropriate way that we possibly can. Our board next year, Deb Barrett from the Alabama-Mississippi district will be our president-elect next year. Terry Davis from the New York, New England district will be our treasurer. Jim Kondronsik, who's a past international president, and Jim is from Southern Wisconsin, is on the board. And then our newly elected board member, Ben DeReamer, is from the Pacific Northwest. All of you know Craig Boring, our executive director. And even though Craig's our executive director, the go-to person for all of us at the foundation is Shanita Taylor, who's the senior director of donor services. And then we have administrative assistant Zoe Williams, and you've heard from Zoe over the last few weeks since we received her appointments. One of the other staff members has recently left the foundation, and so we're currently working on a very, very short staff. And so if you do send things into the foundation and they don't get back to you, let's say ASAP, it's only because they're so backed up and trying to get caught up in everything. But I know that Craig is in the process of looking to bring in another staff member to be able to share some of those responsibilities that we have. Now, as the district foundation, your main role is to really be that liaison between the foundation and the clubs within your district, and really to be out there to talk about the different programs that the foundation does have, and really be out there soliciting funds on behalf of the foundation. Now, when you kind of think about the ways that the foundation really does support Optimist International, the foundation does provide the scholarship dollars for all of the districts other than Canada for the oratorical, for essay, and also for the communication contest for the deaf and hard of hearing. The foundation also supports the World Oratorical and does provide the $5,000 scholarship for all of the region winners, with the exception of the Canadian districts. And if there is a winner from one of the Canadian districts, as far as the region is concerned, then the Canadian Children's Foundation does provide the funding for that. We also help to do some fundraising with outside organizations to try to also support the oratorical and also support the Junior Optimist. And last year, the foundation did contribute about $85,000 to Joy to really help to offset some of their expenses. And for the first time ever, the foundation also provided money to the junior golf program. And with adding on junior golf now, we can honestly say that the foundation does now support every single program that Optimist International does have. And so when some of your members really say, why do we give the foundation? What do we get for it? And it's really a lot of these things that the foundation is providing back to the districts and back to the clubs, to really returning those contributions they are receiving from our members. Now, the foundation also has 3 grant programs that we do support. Now, one of them is the Club Matching Grant Program, and that's a program where a club can apply for a new program that they're doing for a minimum grant of $250 all the way up to $1,000. Now, for this coming year, that grant process will open up on January the 6th. And that's where all the information will be posted on the website, the application and everything. And then those grant applications are due by March the 15th. And approximately 20 grants are awarded out of those dollars. And really what happens is we budget a certain amount of money for those grants. And if there are grants that come in for less than 1,000 that we're able to support, then there may be an additional application that we're able to support because of that. Now, the one thing that I'll tell you about that one, and I know that when I chaired that committee, and Terry Davis recently chaired it for us, it seems like the majority of those grant applications come in the last couple of days. And so when you're out there talking to your clubs and encouraging them to apply for those grants, try to encourage them to not to wait to the last minute to get those in, so the office really doesn't get bombarded in the last couple of days with all of the grant applications coming in. Now, second one of the grant programs is the Childhood Health and Wellness, and that's also a matching grant at a minimum of $250 all the way up to $1,000. Now, the Childhood Health and Wellness also includes the Childhood Cancer Program. And one of the nice things about the way that that one is set up is we do budget a certain amount of money every year that we can return as far as those grants are concerned. But if any of those grants are specific to childhood cancer, there is another bucket of money that is solely dedicated to childhood cancer, and money for those grant applications can then come out of that bucket, which then allows additional dollars then to be returned as far as the other health and wellness programs are concerned. And then the third grant program that the foundation does help with is the disaster relief. And there's also for grants for up to $1,000. Now, currently, those grant applications first go to Betty Ellerby. But as I think most of you know, Betty is retiring at the end of September, and between our new executive director, Cheryl, and Craig, they're going to work out exactly how that's going to work, who those applications will be going to, and they will get that information out to everybody as soon as they work that out. Now, we also have the pass-through program of the Club Campaign Fund. And think about both of these programs because they can be rather complex. If you have clubs that are interested in either one of these programs, I would suggest that you contact the office and talk to Craig, talk to Shanita, so that you're getting the exact information, exactly how these programs work, so that no one is giving you really misleading information. But the pass-through, again, is a way that for some donors who say they will only give money to a 501c3, they're able to give that money through the pass-through grant to the foundation, and then it's returned immediately back to the district or the club as far as those programs are concerned. And the nice thing about the Club Campaign Fund, it does pay simple interest every year at 3%. And there aren't too many places today that you can set aside money safely at a bank or something and get that kind of a return. So it's really a nice thing as far as being able to return, back to those clubs that are using that childhood campaign fund. Now, we're always proud about the things that the foundation accomplishes during its previous year. And so we always come up with our top 10 list. And one of the things that we did do last year was to support the World Oratorical with not only the regional competition, but also the first place in the World Championship to the tune of $45,000 that was returned back for the Oratorical scholarships. There was some $252,000 that were provided to clubs using that club campaign program. Also, almost $71,000 of interest that was also paid on those funds. Obviously, as all of you did, we worked through all of those challenges with COVID-19, and the foundation board was meeting regularly, typically about once a month, to really make sure that the foundation was on track and still able to support all of the clubs and all of the programs of Optimist International. We also were able to help clubs as far as through that pass-through program of getting a little bit over $200,000 in charitable contributions that were, again, a business or even an individual could send that money in through the pass-through and then have it returned back to the club or to the district. Now, with that childhood health and wellness program, including the childhood cancer, a little bit over $76,000 was awarded last year as far as grants were concerned. There were 101 students that took advantage of the scholarships that they had won through the oratorical, the essay, and the contest for the deaf and hard of hearing. Almost $260,000 in scholarship money was paid out last year. And then also, as far as we did receive some endowments, so a little bit over $100,000 was paid out in endowment funds for different projects and scholarships that clubs and districts were supporting. And we also did provide some funding to Optimist International for the virtual convention that was held in place of the Chicagoland convention because of the pandemic. And then through the club matching grant programs, with all the applications, we always ask how many members are participating, how many children are going to be serviced. And it was around 334 optimists that were involved, and just under 10,000 children and their families. They really benefit from those club matching grants that were given out. As we had mentioned earlier, there was $85,000 that we did contribute to Joy for the programs that they have. Now, people often say, well, where does your money really come from? And one of the biggest places the money does come from is from our member donations. And so whether it's that member that makes a $5 donation, or those members that make thousands of dollars of donation, it's really member donations where a vast majority of our funding as club comes from. Now, we also have about a third of our clubs, about 32% of our clubs that also do make club donations. Now, we also have some endowments on some of the scholarship programs where we have individuals or districts that have endowed one of those scholarships. And then we also do make a little bit of money by investing the corpus that we have. And I will tell you that the last year, as far as investment purpose-wise, has been wonderful to the foundation. The foundation, the money is invested in very, very safe, very, very conservative things. But there has been a double-digit return, over the last year that we have received on those funds, which obviously then increases the amount of money that we have available to be able to return to Optimist International, to our clubs and our districts. Now, a lot of different places where you'll be able to get information, and one of them is on the website. But also over the last year with Jennifer Bagwell from the marketing department at OI, there's been a lot of postings on Facebook, a lot of direct email that has also been provided out to the DFRs, also to the club foundation reps, and also to our clubs and our members. And there's been information provided in the hotlines and also in the quarterly magazine. Now, one thing that you'll find about the quarterly magazine is most of you are used to getting that in the mail every quarter. And the Optimist International Board has decided that the magazine is going virtual. And so all of that information, you'll get a link to be able to access the virtual copy of the magazine. And so you may remember back in February, the cover for the magazine celebrated the 50-year anniversary of the foundation. And we have to thank President Jan for all the hard work that her committee did as far as really promoting our 50th anniversary. Now, as far as the recognition levels are concerned, Diamond Day for next year is going back to the true Diamond Day, to the $36.50. We all know that this year it did go up to $50 to celebrate our 50th anniversary, but we'll be going back to that $36.50 level. And the Diamond Day pin for next year is this pin here. And we kind of looked at, as incoming president, I got to pick the color scheme that I wanted. And for those of you that know me, two of my three favorite colors are blue and gold. And so we did kind of incorporate that into the Diamond Day pin for next year. Now, there's a new level of giving that's being introduced for next year, which is called the Diamond level. And this is for someone that donates $100 in unrestricted funds to the foundation. And for those people that do hit the Diamond level, they are going to receive a postcard with a personal message from myself. And this is a picture. This is the picture of what the postcard will look like. Now, the next level, which is the President's Club level, is for those members that do with unrestricted funding donate $250 a year. Now, the first year that they join President's Club, they receive the President's Club pin, along with a special pen that is designed. And for people that renew their President's Club membership, they also receive that special pen. And then also at convention, you do get a nice ribbon for your badge. And some of you were there at convention, attended the President's Club reception that we did have at the convention in Atlanta. And this is the pen for next year. And so we did was take the logo with all of the kids on the pen, and also the OIF logo on the cap of the pen. Now, the Friends of Today are for those donors and unrestricted funds that do donate $500. And one of the toughest decisions that an incoming president of the foundation has is what's that print going to look like? And all of you have seen many of the prints over the years. And one of the things that I really wanted to do as we did the print for this year was to really recognize the different ways that our youth have had to learn over the last year. Many of them were sitting at home in front of a computer. Many of them maybe on an iPad. Some of them were able to still do some in-person learning. And so we really wanted to try to incorporate all of that into the print. And so for those of you that were at convention, you did get to see the print. But I know that many of you were not able to be at convention. And this is the print for next year. Now that print will be reproduced on a 11 by 14 metal plate that goes on a wooden plaque. And that's what the people that qualify for Friends of Today will be receiving. And so when I explained to the artist kind of the thought that I had about what I wanted the print to look like, he kind of took my thought and said, let me see what I can come up with. And he exceeded my expectations of what it was going to look like. And just really, really happy that we're able to celebrate so many different youth with so much different diversity in all of the youth and the different ways that our children have had to learn over the last 16 to 18 months. Now, the Women's Philanthropy Council is a $100 contribution for what many of you know as the Pink Purse Pin, and a couple changes that are being made as far as the WPC is concerned for this year. The money that is donated for the WPC, that $100 for the Pink Purse, is going to be restricted funds. And that money will be used to help to pay for some of the young ladies' scholarships as far as the oratorical contest is concerned. And so for someone that does want to, let's say, do President's Club, where they would do their $250, and if they also want to do WPC and do the $100 for the Pink Purse, that will mean then that they'll be making a contribution next year of $350. And so I know that this year, the $100 was part of the cumulative total, and the board did decide after talking to a lot of our donors that really the Women's Philanthropy Council should be a standalone and really not be considered as part of that cumulative giving. And this is what next year's Pink Purse Pin is going to look like. Now, the Christian D. Larson program is for someone that does donate in unrestricted funds $1,000 during the Optimist year. Now, they don't have to donate that $1,000 all at one time. So if somebody wanted to do $250 a quarter, let's say, to get them up to that $1,000 level, that's perfectly fine. And then they do get a nice little site plaque that does have their donor number on it as far as the Larson program is concerned. And most of you know that Kristen Larson is the individual that actually did write the Optimist Creed. And I know that there are some of you on the call this evening that are Christian D. Larson members. Now, the highest member as far as a group that we have in the foundation is the William Harrison Society. And those are for donors that in lifetime giving have given $10,000 or more. And then once they get to that $10,000 level to remain in the society, it's $1,000 of unrestricted giving each year. And there is a dinner at the International Convention where we do recognize all of the Harrison members. This year, though, in Atlanta, we did combine together the Harrison dinner and the President's Club dinner into one recognition program, partially because of the limited number of people that we knew were going to be attending the convention in Atlanta. Now, for those clubs that donate, we do have the $1 a day patch, the $365 patch. And I think that most of you know that part of the Honor Club and Distinguished Club requirements is that a club does contribute a minimum of $100 to the foundation. But for those clubs that do the $1 a day, that do the $365, they receive a special banner patch. And this is next year's banner patch that they will be receiving. And this is one of the ones where Craig said to me, what the patch is going to look like is totally up to you. And for some of you that know me well, you know that I only tend to play golf on days that end in Y. And so I did want to kind of incorporate my love of golf into the patch. And so this would be the 365 patch that clubs will be receiving. As far as the challenge for all of you, it's really to, again, encourage your clubs and your members to donate to the foundation and really share with them all of the different ways the foundation does give back. One of the things I'd really like to encourage that all of you do when you talk to your members is to talk to them about that they don't have to make their donations all at one time. So if somebody, for example, wants to do Dime a Day and just can't do that $36.50 all at one time, they can do partial payments to get to that level. One of the things that is out there that I don't think enough people have taken advantage of is you can actually set up where you can have money directly taken out of your bank account and sent to the foundation electronically on a monthly basis. And for somebody that wants to do Dime a Day, that's only $3.05 a month to get to their excuse me, to get to their $36.50 for the year. And so I'd really like to see all of you encourage, members to take advantage of being able to contribute to the foundation and doing it electronically. And not only does it make it easy for them, but also makes it easy for you that you're not always standing out there in front of them with your hand out because you know that they're having those contributions made on a regular basis to the foundation. Now, during the first quarter of this coming year, we are going to have a fast start presidential incentive. And to be able to qualify this by November 30th of 2021, so by the end of November, a minimum donation to the foundation of a dime a day of $36.50 by the DFRs, also by the district governors, and also by the district governor-elects. And so we not only want this year's team to really be out there supporting the foundation, but also our governor-elects getting them in the habit that the foundation is an important thing for them to place importance on during their year and to make that commitment as far as the dime a day is concerned. It's kind of interesting. Craig had run some numbers a couple of years ago that if we would only increase our dime a day giving by 1%, that would provide an additional $18,000 a year to the foundation in dollars we'd have available to give back in scholarships and other program support that the foundation does do. Now, if you do have questions that do come up, there's the email for the foundation and also the 800 number for the foundation. But again, you can also contact any one of the board members. And all of our board members are on the call this evening. I know we can't necessarily see all of them, but I will tell you that Terry Davis, who will be our treasurer next year, she's going to be the liaison for those districts that are in the Great Lakes Northeast District and also the Mid-Atlantic District. Ben DeReamer is going to have the West Coast District, with the exception of the Pacific Northwest District. Craig is going to be handling the Southwest District. Deb Merritt will be handling Southeast. Jim Kondronsky will be doing, it's with Southern Wisconsin. It's not Mid-Atlantic, it's Great Plains. Great Plains, thank you. And then I'll be handling Middle America, and I'll also be handling the Pacific Northwest District. And so if any of you, again, have any questions, really your first go-to would be your board liaison for them to be able to help you out. So Craig, do we have any questions that popped up in the chat?
Not to this point. So if you do have a question, you can unmute and ask away. Mark has given us a lot of information regarding just kind of a general overview. You should, unless you've signed up as the DFR in the last few days, you should have received your binder in the mail. We know the mail is slow, but those were mailed out the first week of July. So you do have that available. And if you have not received your binder, unless you've just been assigned the DFR in the last week or so, please let myself or Zoe know. And just to reiterate what Mark said, we will be covering all of the reporting, website, and tools at your disposal at the September meeting. In addition, your board liaison will be having a Zoom call with each of those regions.
Okay, I see Jerry with her hand up.
Yes, hi, Mark.
Hi.
Jerry Gorman from the DMM, sorry. I have a list of, things that have been done last year. I think it came out from Jan. But the one thing I have a question about, it says 20 club grants were awarded, which helped 334 Optimist International clubs to help so many children, etc. 20 club grants? Does that mean that only 20 clubs got a grant, but it helped 334 Optimist International clubs?
No.
I think it was about 20 grants, Jerry, but there were the 300 and 100 plus number are the number of members that were participating in those grant programs from those clubs that did receive the grants.
Okay, it's a little unclear the way it was written, so that clears it up. That's, yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I see Stephen with his hand up.
Yeah, my question is, and this seems to be a discussion going around our district a lot. I've been to several conventions, and it just seems to be a hot topic about how easily can we get the funds back. We're under the impression that most people say that you have to do a whole new project, or you have to do a lot of hoops to get that money back if we put that money into the foundation. How easy it is for a district to actually, I like to dispel that with our members at the convention, of how easy is it to, or how do I learn about getting that money back and can explain it to them in a way that.
Are you talking about the club campaign fund?
No, I'm just talking about in general. If we just say we put 10,000 into your fund, we have a big surplus in our district. And the people's objection is, well, there's no way that we can get that money back easily to use for other things that we might want to in the future with our clubs, unless we create a new program, is their understanding.
No, and you can call me directly and I can answer that question more in depth. But the general, you are talking about the club campaign fund. If clubs and districts can put money into an interest-bearing account that does 3% simple interest, and it is very easy. There are minimum standards. You have to put in $500. You have to wait 90 days. But to withdraw it, now those funds can only be invested and be used for charitable, educational, and literary. So you cannot put funds into the foundation that will be utilized for administrative things down the road. And all you have to do to get those funds out is the contact person or the district governor. Those are two. There's the district governor names the contact person, and then the district governor. All they have to do is submit in writing, email or letter, saying, "Hey, we'd like to bring out $2,500 for XYZ." Now you can only withdraw for what you set up the account for. So we do recommend that it is very open-ended. Youth activities, youth programs. If you want to be as specific and you say this money is only going to be used for scholarships, then it has to be used for what you say. But it's a very simple process, and we have over 240 accounts with us. And I will dispel the rumor that it is difficult to get the money out. It is very easy to get the money out if you follow the rules.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll be willing to talk to anybody and everybody about that. Club pass through. I think Al had that question. Club pass through is just for the individuals, businesses in your community. You as a club, about 17% of our clubs are not-for-profits. They are uh, um, 501c3s on their own. But a majority of our clubs, and that's why the foundation was set up 50 years ago, we are the charitable arm for the Optimist International, the districts, and for the clubs. If individuals want to give money through, so they get a tax credit or tax receipt, then you can set up a program through Shanita called the pass-through, and it's on the website. And that program allows them to write the check to Optimist International Foundation, and within 8 to 10, maybe, depending on how quickly we get everything turned around, we then, let's say 3 people write $500 checks to the Optimist International Foundation. If you have the application on file with us, then we will turn around and send your club $1,500. So it's just like the name of the program. We're passing the money through to us, and we're passing it back to you. So maybe we should call it pass through, pass back. So, but no, it's a great program, and I don't remember that. We usually have between 300, 200. Last year was obviously a very unique year. If you throw last year, our average over the last 5 years is about 350 to 400,000 annually is of charitable giving is run through that program. Okay, that's the pass-through and club campaign. Question? I'm terrible at looking for those hands up. I see people doing.
I'm not seeing any hands up, Kurt.
Okay. You guys are a good group. Of course, we have a very veteran group, and many of you have been around for a while. Many of you, obviously, in fact, all of you are great donors, so we do appreciate that. Just from Mark's, I think the big thing, let me just, from sitting at my desk and, from Shanita's viewpoint, there is going to be a challenge next year because we're going to go, we did the commemorative $50 dime a day because it went over very well. It was a tremendously successful program, but the prevailing thought was many wanted to go back. So we are going to go back to the old form. There's a lot of those 50th anniversary forms out there. I guess if somebody wants to give us $50, we'll accept it because it's the minimum is $36.50. But you're just going to have to get that word out that it is there. And then I think the other one for about 10 to 15 districts that are very participative in the WPC, that is going to be a restricted gift to scholarships for World Oratorical is going to be the main purpose. But the new level, the diamond level, it gives every district a chance to say, hey, if you're 3650, Dale Fox is graded. So I'm going to pick on Dale. Dale is graded and say, hey, if you're 3650 or $50, what can we do to get you to $100? And the diamond level is something that we used to call it the century circle. And we really wanted to be good stewards of the dollar. And Mark came up with the idea. Basically, when somebody gets to $100, they're going to get a very nice thank you in a postcard and a note from him that says thank you and an actual picture of a kid that we're helping. Okay, any other questions?
I see Marcy's hand up.
Hi, Marcy.
Yes, I have a question. As I've been a DFR in the past, just this last year, do I need a new binder?
Yes, because even though probably 80% of it, you will be sent a binder. Marcy, I think we just got you added. So you will be getting a binder in the mail. I may actually personally deliver it when I come out.
Okay.
You will have a new binder because there are things in there that change every year, such as the dime a day pin. Mark's print is different than Jan's. So it may seem like a waste, but it is a great reference tool. We are attempting, just like your magazine and other things you get, you can now have virtually. Jason Cook is working on taking the DFR binder and making it a virtual. So you'll be able to click on a link and actually turn the pages. We're almost there. We've got it. We got a prototype done, and him and Zoe have been working on it, and they're just waiting for me to do a run through and then show it to Mark. So you will also not only have the physical binder, but you will have a binder on your phone or on your laptop.
Thank you.
And I do want to add one more thing. I don't want to sell the future and not have something firm, but Jennifer Bagwell is working on an app for the foundation. So you will be able to access everything on our phone starting October, maybe even sooner. So you'll be able to go on and from the app, go to the website, and from the app, pull up stuff.
Nice.
Yes. Rich.
Okay, Rich.
Unmute Rich. Nope. Rich, you are muted. You need to unmute. I'm asking him to unmute, but he's not unmuting. It's a wonderful question. I wish I could read lips. There you go. There you go.
Okay. All right. My question is, I talked to Shanita the other day, and as far as mailing awards, people complain that they're not getting their awards when they do things. Members, especially the time of day. Last year, I was able to go to International and get some pins from you guys, and deliver them. But who are they going to be mailed to? To the presidents? Are they going to be mailed to the governor, to me, or whatever, as far as the awards, the pins, and whatever else?
Well, I would hope when you run into somebody that complained to remind them that there was a pandemic going on and that everything that we had done for 50 years and many years basically got thrown out the window. We have always been in a system where everything was sent to the DFR and then the DFR allocated it out. There are a few things that we send directly to the individual. Due to the pandemic, we had to basically scrap that system because there was no district meetings. So at first we were sending things to individuals and that was getting very, very cost inefficient. So now we did group things together that if a club had 10 dime a day people or members, we would send it to either the secretary treasurer or the CFR. So moving forward, going back to convention, because district meetings will be going back full force, certain items will be sent directly to the DFR. Dime a day is one of those, and there's a few others, I think 365 patch. We will continue to send directly the things such as the President's Club, the print, and those. So we have two separate lists, and we're going to be sending out an email. I think we've done it once, but we're going to send another email just saying, here's what's going to be sent directly to the individual or to the club, and here's what's going to be sent to the DFR. Starting October 1, we will have, when we actually do the training in September, we will have a very defined list of what's going to go to who and when. I hope you guys do act as our agents and go, and when somebody complains, I'm just going to be very honest. We had a lot of complaints. People sent their check in on November 1st and they were calling us on November 10th. Where's my PIN? So just ask them for patience. We send everything out on a monthly basis, and the post office, we have our fingers crossed and we say a prayer. The post office may get it to them in 2 or 3 weeks, but we have to balance efficiency as well as I'm sorry, Jennifer Kindo's cat. efficiency is along with cost efficiency as long as timing efficiency. So we'll get out to you exactly the list of things that will be going to the individuals or clubs and things that will be going to you. And then on October 1st, that list will be updated. I'm sorry for the ramble on that one, but please ask people to be patient.
The other
Yes.
question I have is I think in our district, Illinois district, I think we're having trouble with communications, finding out who the foundation representatives are. How do you get that information at?
You muted, Craig.
Rich, I'm sorry, I hit mute. I muted you. I didn't mean to. So what you were doing, go back. There you go. Okay.
Well, my
You mean your
question was,
CFR list?
yeah, for the clubs, the club representatives, how do you get that information? Or I don't think we have all our sent in for our district.
Shanita, October 1, we will do a list and send it to the DFR. We don't repeat that list, I believe, but we send it at the beginning of the year, and then if we update it as needed. So
How do you get that information though?
We pull it from the OI system. So individuals have to be appointed, they fill out a form, or they go on the OI system and they become a CFR, and then we pull it we pull it.
Does that come from the governor or the secretary of treasurer, or the secretary of the district, or where does it come from?
It comes from all different, it all comes from, because it goes into the OI system. It comes from governors, it comes from individual clubs, the DFRs.
Okay.
So.
All right, I see Terry Branch with her.
And it also, somebody, I'm sorry, Governor Cindy, it said it's on the club officer elect report.
Okay.
I get a lot of shaking heads there.
See Terry Branch.
Good evening. I have two questions. One, can we get a copy of our membership list in an Excel spreadsheet to the DFRs for contact purposes? It makes it easier than going in and looking every time you need to send someone something through the mail. And secondly, as far as the grants are concerned, is there a way that the OIF can acknowledge receipt of the grant and also acknowledge the recipients of grants that are submitted once they are submitted by the clubs?
Terry, would you email me that question about the member list in an Excel sheet? And I will,
Okay.
I will discuss that with Shanita. I don't want to speak on that one yet.
I sure can.
So club grants come in. Let's just talk about club grants. Club grants come in throughout between January and March. We do get it. Most of them come in at the end. An email. Okay. Let me see an email receipt that it came in. Okay. We've got health and wellness ones coming up. We might be able to try that out. Just a verbal confirmation back, or not a verbal, but a written confirmation back. And then once the awards are given, and I'll use Club Grant as an example, the winners are notified usually 1 week after the committee makes their final selections, or within a week to 10 days, 2 weeks. And then all clubs are notified whether they get it or don't get it, or if they don't get it. So we notify all clubs positively or sorry, you did not get it. So, and then those are put on the.
I didn't get one of those. Yeah, I didn't get one of those on a grant resubmitted.
On a health and wellness grant or a club grant?
Club grant.
No, club grant. I'll go back and look. So email me the club that you're talking about, but I know, okay. I know I signed 44 letters last year, and there were 40.
I mailed it. I actually mailed it as the DFR for the CFR.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't. Okay. It doesn't matter who it comes from. Yeah, send me that. I'll look into it. Okay.
Okay. No problem. I'll send it out. Thank you so very much. Great training too.
Thank you. Okay. Kathy Hicks.
Yes. So this is just a personal note. So all the foundation reps, we moved last year and we changed our address with Optimist International, but and I assumed, which I should know, that the foundation would also get that email, but they didn't. So the foundation reps, if people change their address, they need to make sure and get it changed in the foundation, unless the foundation has figured out a way to overlap that.
Yeah, we pull from the OI system. And the problem is sometimes it doesn't always get picked back up. I know Bill Myers, our past president just before Jan R. Graves, he moved from California and he submitted it several times and the OI system would show it and we were picking it up, but it wasn't, when you'd pull it, it didn't come up. So the OI system is fairly antiquated. So there is some issues there, but we pull from that. And I will double check that and make sure.
Well, just if the people could, the foundation reps, when they're taking big amounts of money or even the small, just check and say, is this your current address?
Right.
Because they all know if people are moving around.
And we have seen a lot more moving, people retiring and moving in the last year. So.
Right, Dale Fox.
Yeah, Craig, I wondered, is there some way, and again, I'm not sure whether this is a change or whether it's because of the pandemic or whether it's just not, I don't recall whether it's been done before or not. Notifying the DFRs of the dime a day names. We get numbers, but we don't know, I don't know, and I don't know who's paid or who's donated at different levels. President's Club's on there. But if there's somebody that's given a donation for the Christian D. Larson Award, do I get notified of that? I have not, and I thought we'd had at least one person that had done that.
Quarterly, you're going to get updates from Shanita. Now, dime a day individual, I do not know because we do send the packing list quarterly, and if you have those, you'll know who's gotten it.
Right.
So let me go back on anything other than dime a day. Christian E. Larson, it should be noted on your quarterly report that she
Okay.
sends out.
Okay.
That may be a question when we get to the reporting structure.
Okay.
So anything on reporting, I may delay until September because we tried to teach reporting back in July and August before, and everybody forgot it by the time. So it's literally going to be 2 weeks before you start. So that's a
All right.
reporting question.
Thank you.
All right, other questions?
We are rocking and rolling.
All right, let me just mention real briefly before we end. Each one of the board members from the foundation does have some dollars budgeted for them to do some traveling to their districts. And so as a DFR, if you'd like to have your OI board member come to one of your meetings, contact them and let them know, and they're going to have to make a decision because they don't have enough money to visit every one of their districts. One of the nice things this past year with so many of the districts meeting virtually, I think I've attended myself 38 district meetings this year so far, and it was fun in May to be able to actually go out live and visit Indiana North and at their meeting. And I know in August I'm going to be at 3 live district meetings. But anything, again, that our board members can do to help make your job a little bit easier. If you've got a member that's maybe real close to their next recognition level and they need a little push from one of our board members, please ask them. They're more than willing to make those phone calls and help you on your behalf to help you raise funds and to make your job easier. And again, I just want to thank on behalf of the board, all of you for joining us this evening. I did put my email into the chat. And if any questions do come up after tonight, feel free to contact me. Feel free to contact the office and Craig, and we will get back to you in a timely fashion. I will warn you that if you try to get a hold of Craig about the last 10 days in August, you're not going to get a hold of Craig. He's taking a well-deserved vacation. And I will tell you that if you contact me most mornings, it'll be the afternoon or evening before I get back to you, because I typically am on the golf course every morning. I know it's a real surprise, Al.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording and I want to echo Mark's